In our overall discussion of the power of intention of kavana in this chapter, today we're going to more of the intricate inner workings and details. So let's begin by looking at a quote from the Tanya Companion. The Alter Rebbe writes that the inner level of chayas, of energy, is concealed within the body to essentially the same degree as within the soul. Meaning the energy that's enlivening the body and the energy that's enlivening the soul, although they're different energies, they're both equally concealed. The inner chayas, the inner energy, descends from level to level via powerful simsumim, right? These powerful constrictions, in order to finally reach and invest itself in klipas noga, which is the energy that enlivens everything permissible, thereby enlivening the physical world. Permitted objects receive their chayas, their energy, directly from klipas noga, the spiritual energy behind them. In some beings, the chayas is more constricted and limited, while in others it's more expressed. Meaning in some things you'll see more of a godly revelation than in others. So even though the inner aspect is all equally concealed, at no point are we actually seeing Hashem himself, or the inner essence. That being said, in terms of the revelation, that varies. Previously, when the Tanya was talking about the soul, right, we're talking about how the energy that enlivens the soul versus the energy that enlivens the body, it was speaking about the animal soul. So how can the body and animal soul have such a unique life force, and the animal soul have such a higher level of divine energy than that of the body, right? Aren't they both from Klipas Noga? And we know the animal soul is from Klipas Noga. We know the body is from Klipas Noga. So how is it they both have such a unique life force, and the animal soul is such a greater life force enlivening it than the body? By life force, you mean a greater quality of light that's infused with it, and basically more energy infused within it. So to answer this, we first need to understand how God's light is hidden and diminished as it enters Klipas Noga and thereby the world. So this is the process in which God enlivens the world through Klipas Noga, which is the energy that it's just the spiritual reality that God uses to enliven this world. So how does this happen? The garments which the light hides, conceals, and clothes itself are identical in the body and the soul. Both body and soul are of this world, where throughout the world and all its creatures, spiritual as well as physical, right, meaning angels as well as cats, right, all of it, the light and life force issuing from the breath of God's mouth are equally concealed by concealment of his countenance, right, the hester upon him. And with the descent of the life force from level to level by means of numerous powerful contractions. Through the various levels of constituting the chain-like successions of the world, finally clothing itself, right? So after this whole process of all these many contractions of God's endless light, it finally closes itself within Klipas Noga in order to give the totality of the material world its energy. So when it's getting the energy from God, but not in a direct way, it's going through all these various constrictions to the point that contractions to the point that you don't even recognize that God's enlivening it. And that's how you have a stop sign, that you don't think there's godly life enlivening it, even though God's completely enlivening it. It just looks like its own independent creation. It looks lifeless. It doesn't look like there's a life force behind it. So if Klipa Noga is a force that hides God, making our autonomous existence possible, meaning this feeling that I feel like I exist on my own, I don't feel empowered by a higher life force. So how could this energy be powered by God? How does God create something that conceals him? For this to happen, the good in Klipas Noga, right, the Noga, the shining aspect, the divine part, or the revelation divinity aspect of Klipas Noga, must be concealed and downgraded so it's compatible with Klipa. It needs to go to a place of exile, of where it's no longer saying, hi, I'm godliness. It's saying, hi, I'm a world, right? I exist on my own. Klipas Noga is an intermediary between energies. So through Klipas Noga, the three impure klipos, the three harsher klipas, which yes are God's creation to conceal him, they created to conceal himself with, and to create free choice with. So they receive their energy from Klipas Noga. So you have Kedusha, holiness, okay, life. Then you have Klipas Noga, this intermediary energy, the permissible forces. And then you have the three impure klipas, which is serious levels of concealment, meaning it's not just that God's light is being concealed in a minimal way and you can find the divine spark. It's so concealed I actually can't find the divine spark. Nevertheless, despite the fact that everything in this world suffers from the same hester panim of Klipas Noga, right, the same levels of concealment, the filter for the godly light within varies. So meaning some things have thicker screens and some things have thicker. Something I can't see the Noga, I can't see the divinity within, and some things it's much easier to see the divinity within. So, for example, a rock has a greater level of concealment as a plant, because a plant shows life. I can feel the life force behind it. I can see the life force behind it. I'm breathing in the life force behind it. I'm connected to the life energy behind it much more so than with a rock, where the life force is completely concealed because there's no growth or movement or signs of life in any way. And so what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to continue understanding how these 4 different categories of life all express or conceal that divine spark within to different degrees. Thank you for taking the time to explore today's Tanya together.